topic of this presentation is about the blockchain security and the scalability. Blockchain is a distributed system composed of many cryptographic signed digital transactions. Each transaction is treated as a record. A fixed number of records build a block. By cryptographically linking those blocks together, a blockchain is formed. When discussing blockchain, there is a problem associated with blockchain called blockchain trilemma. People need to trade off decentralization, security, and scalability in one blockchain, and people can only satisfy two out of the three. In this presentation, we will discuss cryptography used in blockchain and how they are used to satisfy the security and scalability. In addition, we'll talk about some solutions of the scalability.
Blockchain is a network that allows an anonymous user to join without authentication to their identity. However, the network is considered as pseudo-anonymous because the account of user in blockchain network is visible to the public. For any transactions, the involved account is visible for any viewer. The only thing is unknown is the user who is behind the account. In short, if you talk or make transactions with someone in blockchain network, you don't know the identity of the person in reality, but you do know the person is the one that you wish to talk to. How can this process be done in blockchain? I will talk about a security aspect in blockchain technology. Because of the permissionless property of blockchain, the network is susceptible to cyber attack. First thing is the data integrity. How do those users in blockchain system verify the authority of the chain and data inside the block is not tampered with the invader? By taking a look at this diagram shown here, we can see a structure that looks like a linked list. It has got a header, body, and a tail, while blockchain is not a linked list. In this blockchain system, only the longest chain is recognized as the main chain. With the increase of transactions in the main chain, the chain will become longer and longer. It is very hard to forge a blockchain that is identical to the main chain. Hash function is used in blockchain to ensure the data integrity. What a hash function actually does is to receive an input, performing some mathematical operation to transfer input to another output, which is in fixed length despite the length of the input. There are three important features in hash function. First, it is computationally infeasible to find the input given an output in a hash function. Secondly, for a valid and reliable hash function, there is no second input that has the same output as the input. Thirdly, the hash function is resistant to collision, which means no two inputs have the same output. The SHA-256 is used in blockchain technology. It is widely used in computer and supported by hardware level. It will produce 32-byte long output for any given input. Hash value is calculated for every block to prevent malicious tampering. The hash value is written on head of block. By tracing the hash value on the header, we can eventually find the first block of the system. Once the block has been added to main chain, any change on the block will cause the change of hash value also, thus making an obvious unmatching between the tampered block and its lagging block. Cryptography nonce is basically a random number that is being used to further improve hash function performance. The random number will be added with data and then computed through a hash function. Due to the fact that nonce is aborted once after use, it makes it even harder for invader to forge a fake chain. After talking about data integrity, it is time for us to look at how participants communicate and make transactions with each other. This is done by a symmetric cryptography technique. Two mathematical related keys called public key and private key are used at both identity check and communication encryption. The private key is held secretly by the user. In some applications of blockchain, such as cryptocurrency, the private key is stored in software called wallet. When a transaction takes place between two users in blockchain, the private key will be firstly used to sign a digital signature. The signature can be verified by anyone who holds the public key of Alice to prove her identity. The public key will be used as an encryption key for communication once both parties have verified the identity of each other. The record of their transaction will be shown on the block also. Transaction records are made publicly available to participants in the chain. In this diagram, Alice sent $17 to Bob, and she only has $3 remaining in her wallet. This record is visible to everyone, thus if Alice wants to make a transaction with Harry, and seeing that she has $20 in her wallet, it is very easy for Harry to check the transaction record and find that Alice is lying.
Next, we'll discuss another element of the trilemma, scalability. Blockchain scalability refers to how well it can handle an increasing number of transactions, which can be measured by the number of transactions processed per second. Here, I show the TPS of some companies, such as Visa's TPS is 24,000, while Bitcoin TPS is only 7. Theoretically, suppose the bandwidth is infinitely large, the data transmission delay is close to zero, and the computing power is extremely strong. Then the TPS can be infinitely high. But in reality, the bandwidth and the computer processing power of most users participating in the blockchain systems are very limited. In a traditional blockchain such as Ethereum and Bitcoin, each transaction needs to be verified by the blockchain network. As the node becomes more, the performance has not improved, and the complexity of communication is rather higher. Therefore, restricted by contemporary technology, trilemma becomes a challenging to the blockchain. Nowadays, many solutions have been proposed, such as first-layer scalability solutions and second-layer scalability solutions. Here we will discuss the following three specific techniques on how to improve scalability. The first one is a directed acyclic graph. That is a loopless directed graph. That is, a vertex goes along a number of edges, but never turns into the origin. The basic structure of blockchain is to connect blocks in the form of chains. That replaces a chain structure with a network structure. Scalability is increased because the DAG enables simultaneous validation of numerous transactions. DAG avoids the time waste caused by the network delay and data synchronization, and can achieve high concurrency. However, the final transaction confirmation time is not controllable, resulting in insufficient stability, and the security has also not been verified. The second is sharding. Sharding refers to the division of the blockchain into different parts, which can process transactions in parallel, thus increasing the TPS. All shards are still based on the same chain, so it is challenging to efficiently collaborate among different shards to maintain the order and correctness of the consensus. Sharding can reduce the processing and memory burden placed on few nodes. However, it makes the database and its applications more complex, and furthermore, it cannot ensure the security. The third one is the consensus mechanism. Except for the popular proof-of-work consensus mechanism, there are many other consensus mechanisms like the proof-of-stake, delegated proof-of-stake, and the Byzantine fault-tolerance. In order to improve the inferior TPS in proof-of-work, proof-of-stake basically eliminates mining and doesn't require a heavy hashing process, which reduces the energy consumption of the proof-of-work and solves the scalability problem to a certain extent. However, proof-of-stake is also a more complicated system and difficult to scale. There are also some way to scaling solutions, such as the zero-knowledge rollups, sidechains, state channels, and so on. All the solutions have unique advantages and disadvantages. In conclusion, we discussed how the hash function and asymmetric cryptography technology ensure the security of the blockchain, and also some solutions to improve scalability. Comparisons of those solutions will be presented in the future work. That is all for this presentation. Thanks for watching.